I, 34M, got married to my ex, 33F, way too young at 24 and 23. She admittedly had a ton of red flags when we started dating, but it was my first serious relationship. I wasn't always very confident or outgoing compared to her, and I'll always be kicking myself for practically dancing into the arms of a narcissist. The next several years after the wedding were spent with her demanding my entire life change at her whims, mood swings, gaslighting when she seemed to be carrying on emotional affairs, isolating me, arguments out of nowhere, nights sleeping on the couch, and financial abuse from her very well-off family. One other thing was she was always more adventurous in the bedroom and always wanted to try newer and weirder things. I'm a little open-minded but sometimes had to set firm boundaries with her or shut her down when it got too uncomfortable. This is important for later. Back then, I thought by just dealing with it I was being strong and protecting our marriage. If I could go back in time, I would kick my younger self's rear. 2 years back, things came to a head. It came out that she had been carrying on a full-fledged affair with our neighbor's son, who had only been 18 for around 6 months. We knew this kid since he was 16, and at that point, she was freshly 31. I finally pulled my head out of my rear, but by that point, it was too late. The coming months absolutely sucked. I got kicked out, as her parents left the house solely to her. I never had any impression I was going to have any claim to it, so I saw that coming at least. The lawyer costs financially drained me, and I moved in with my parents for the time being while my ex, her affair partner, her family, and her affair partner's family harassed me on the daily for months. My ex tried every dirty trick in the book on her parents' dime with a divorce, but somehow, by the grace of God and my lawyer, I made it out relatively fine. She sent grueling insults with every insult you could think of from a cheating narcissist. Her affair partner painted me as a crippled old man and had his friends send insulting messages, videos of him and my ex, and whatever they could think of on the daily, and only stopped when I got law enforcement involved. My ex's family never liked me and gladly jumped at the opportunity to mock me, and the affair partner's family, who obviously saw dollar signs regardless of the greater context, had no problems joining in to score points. This brings me to around 3 weeks ago. By then, 2 years had gone by, with me back on my feet, a year of therapy under my belt, a new job, a new sense of confidence, and recently a new girlfriend. A bit of info: I never left the area. My family only lived a couple of hours away from where my ex and I lived. My job is going too well to risk getting up and leaving for parts unknown. Because I was in the same area, I got little tidbits of info regardless of whether I wanted to hear it or not. I know the affair partner's family moved away, he moved in with her, and the world slowly saw less and less of him. To sum it up, I got a call from his family to see him in the hospital. I don't know all the details, but basically, roughly over a month ago, my ex's affair partner went dark. Over a 5-month period, they slowly heard less and less from him, but a month back, they lost contact. Why it took them this long to raise hell is beyond me, but I imagine a family that would allow their son to be groomed for money isn't great at ensuring their son is okay. Police stopped by her house for a wellness check, only for him to answer the door looking like a literal zombie. The police found him, from what they describe, practically in hell. He had been routinely beaten and intimately abused nonstop for God knows how long. The whole investigation has opened up an endless amount of craziness. I've asked around for more info and got little tidbits but not much. It was found that multiple people were involved and allegedly there are videos of what they were doing to him. They found evidence of God knows how many illegal substances were being pumped into him. My ex and whoever else was involved are facing longer and longer sentences the more they find out. His family wants me to visit him as he wants to make amends. He wants to apologize, he's broken, he's scarred for life, he's suicidal, whatever reason they can spew out to bring me to him they've said it. But why should I be dragged into this crap? His own family practically allowed him to be sold, and my ex's family seems to actually have had no knowledge of this and are practically scraping their hands clean and throwing her to the wolves, but I have to step back into this? I get he was groomed, I get he was influenced, and I understand some truly awful stuff happened to him, but why should I come back to all this and let the people who hurt me know all is forgiven? They've been harassing me about this nonstop now, and even my family think I should talk to him. Edit. I guess posting about this gave me the kick in the rear to communicate with my family. Mainly, it's my parents who are encouraging reaching out. They explained their reasoning to me, and it makes sense where they are coming from. They are simply worried that if I try to ignore them, it will kick off another year-long harassment campaign from them. They saw how messed up I was last time I went through this, and they simply wanted it to end quickly so I didn't go through the same crap again. I have assured them there's no way they'll be able to go through with that again, and worst case scenario, I'll change my number again. They understand and have stopped pushing. So, I'm just gonna bow out of the situation. No dramatic confrontation, no big show to everyone. Just gonna have my lawyer draw up a statement requesting to be left alone, and I'll double check, making sure I won't have to be involved in any proceedings in the near future. From the brief chat I had with my lawyer so far, there's no real logical reason for me to be involved unless either side was getting desperate. Regardless, I have pages of documentation from way back showing my concern towards his age as well as clearly stating I was not involved in what transpired since then. I understand many of you wanted something more dramatic, but that's just how it is. All the loose ends are wrapped up, and I'm moving on. Update 1. Apologies in advance, this update will be stupid and asinine. So, as I always knew was a possibility, sending a letter from my lawyer to the affair partner's parents wasn't the bulletproof shield I was hoping it would be. Desperate people aren't swayed by mere legal matters. Within 2 days, things started spiraling out of control, and very quickly, they called me directly again. Make no mistake, I saw the writing on the wall, that somehow I'll be getting dragged into this no matter what. My parents and girlfriend were as supportive as they could be, but at some point, I said screw it and arranged to talk with the affair partner's dad. I know, I'm an idiot and a fool, but I need to actually know what's going on. To condense what was discussed without spilling any info in regards to the investigation, everyone was turning against each other and out for blood, and secrets were finally spilling. The affair partner's dad, he opened the floodgates. As I knew, everyone was basically aware that my ex groomed him, most likely starting at 16. If there was any physical proof such as messages, they're long gone. This kid was basically a bad seed, with a history of trouble without a clear direction in his future. His dad is a confusing person. He is the kind of dad that wanted to be rid of his problem child, but also was proud in a way of his son getting involved with a hot older woman with a well-off family. He basically spilled the beans that he supported the relationship as it gave him the benefit of getting his son out of his house, and gladly took whatever my ex's family offered as a token of appreciation. He was a lousy father, plain and simple. As time went by, he appeared to realize the situation he put his son in, and it only got worse with time. The affair partner's mom, she was a stay-at-home mother who always was the silent, submissive partner in the marriage. As it turns out, she raised hell from the beginning, but at the behest of her husband, he got her to drop it. He controlled her entire life practically, and I'm suspecting this marriage is way more abusive than he let on. She never was happy and always tried to get her son help and get him away from my ex. After what has happened in the last few weeks, she has had it. She is divorcing him, letting his family know what happened, and plans on cleaning him out in the divorce. The silent, submissive wife was driven too far. From what I saw of the dad, it's hit him hard how his years of bad choices have ruined his family. He is a hollow shell of a man. My ex and her family, they're tearing each other apart. My ex has lost her job, reputation, her circle of freaks, and her money. Her parents, their family humiliated, their involvement taking over local gossip, and desperate to salvage the fallout they'll endure when more people find out, are in the midst of a separation, and a brutal divorce is on the horizon. However, the possibility of an investigation is at risk due to the affair partner. The affair partner, my jaw hit the goddamn floor when I heard about him. He is backpedaling hard. Over the last 2 weeks, he has been retracting every claim, every accusation, every bit of evidence that could put these sick freaks in prison. I kid you not, and I wish I had the capacity to make this up, he has gotten the people who are on video intimately abusing him to verify with him that they were taking part in recording consensual adult content. My brain simply cannot comprehend this, it just won't allow me. Now I'm not stupid, he is clearly psychologically broken. He was alone with them for months, and he needs a psychiatrist immediately. The reason they are so desperate for me to be involved is because it's the last desperate flails of a collapsing group of narcissists and parental failures desperately trying to talk to him, and they want me involved as they need people with history with my ex to try and actually make a case since their son is doing everything he can to not make one happen. As of now, any case against my ex is in limbo. It's just so sad. This situation is so stupid all around because it was so avoidable. All the dad had to do was be a proper guiding father to his son, help him become a proper adult. All his mom had to do was not be a pushover. All my ex's parents had to do was not support an illegal relationship just to spite me. All my ex had to do was not be an awful human being. Now a kid is possibly deeply mentally broken permanently, all because the guiding figures in his life didn't care. I won't lie, I still hate him so much, but he doesn't deserve this. If I ever update again, it would be a year or so down the road after all the dust has settled. This is such a stupid, pointless situation.